Good morning. It's day 121, June 18th. It's about 6:45. We left the shelter at 6:15. I got Pritch and Bones are behind me. Milo's out front. And we're doing 21 miles today to Happy Hills Shelter. It's going to set us up for hopefully a short trip into Hanover tomorrow. We'll get a couple more days of resupply and head out toward Glencliff and get set up for the whites next week or the latter part of this week. So no issues overnight. It was warm. It's warm this morning. I think the forecast is for it to be in the high 80s. And also a good chance of a thunderstorm this afternoon. So we're hoping to get as far as we can before the thunderstorm comes. I don't know that we'll make it to the shelter before then, but we're going to try. Until next segment, this is Reboot, heading north. Just came upon some trail magic here. We just crossed a road. I don't know the name of the road, but it was just left here on the 16th. So plenty to choose from. Got some Lara bars and some Quest bars, which I've never had, but I just tried one. It's cookies and cream. It's really good. Good stuff.
You're gonna kill me falling in, you son of a gun. Man, that's nice and cool. Oh, right here. I think I'm gonna get a tiny bit of water here. So just move on and I'll...
These hoses you see are for the maple syrup, and these are the taps, and then they flow downhill to where the, I don't know if they're called farmers, but it collects in a sugar shack. That's what Pritch told me. So I don't know how well you can see that, but the hoses keep winding around the trees all the way up the hill there. I just topped out on this mountain. I don't know what the name of it is. Guthooks doesn't have a name for it or the view. But that ski area there is the Suicide 6 ski area. It said that. And someone has cut this field. I wouldn't want to be riding on a tractor on this steep hill. But I guess if you know what you're doing, you can get it done. As you all know, I love looking at these rock walls and just appreciating the effort that went into them. Look how big some of these rocks are. In this particular wall, they took the time to take smaller rocks to fill in the gaps between the bigger ones. There's another one right behind me. Really a lot of small stones in this wall. Look at how they laid this stone right here. I thought this was a pretty cool looking field with the different shades of green and the mountains. Of course, unfortunately, it's so hot and humid that the mountains in the distance are hazy. You can see the other backpackers on the other side of the field. That's Milo in front. And then the guy in the neon green is actually a maintainer that we saw at Thistle Hill Shelter when we stopped there for lunch. And he gave us some good information on Happy Hill Shelter, which is where we're going tonight. Specifically that as of Saturday there wasn't any water there and they haven't had any rain. So we got to get our water before we get to the shelter tonight. So I'm going to have to haul about 4 liters of water a mile, well 1.2 miles to the shelter. Uphill, of course, because for some reason you always go uphill to the shelter. Some kind of sick sense of humor that the trail designers and people who decide where to put the shelters have. They want to make you work for it at the end of the day. As you know, I don't like walking through this grass because that's where you get the ticks. But I will say, now that I've gotten up here in Vermont, I don't hear people talking as much about ticks as they did Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey. Yes, I know I got those out of order. Even Mass. So maybe they're not as prominent here. Still got to be on the lookout though. I just walked down into West Hartford, and this is the White River. This is going to be the wrap-up video for day 121. Made it here to Happy Hill Shelter. 21.1 miles, I believe. And it's very hot today. The humidity and heat just zapped me. And I got here about 5:15. And I was already soaking wet from sweat, but then we had a little rainstorm come through right after I crossed the White River and started up the road to go back into the woods. So if there was any part of me that wasn't wet, it was certainly wet after I got rained on. But it's not raining now. A little breeze blowing is kind of drying things out, but I think they're calling for more rain tonight. The bugs are really bad here. As you can see, I got my bug jacket on. 6 miles tomorrow into Hanover and into New Hampshire, so excited about that. And because of that, it's all good in the woods. Made it here to Happy Hill. I did get a spot in the shelter. It's a small shelter, so it's a little cramped, but there's 5 of us in there right now. So really?